thing that I wanted to do is just mention to all of you that I'm looking at my notes here, sorry. That this critique here will allow you to make adjustments to anything if you still are working on stuff. And primarily that is just because we're looking at this pandemic thing is still raging around the world. And as long as we have the opportunity, my intuition is that today's the 27th, and I'm looking at the online portal right now, and I don't, oh wait, no, I don't see the usual class and school, and now, oh, here it is. Final grades are due next week. And so this is being recorded. I will post this on YouTube so everyone can see it. But final grades are due next week. So what that means to me is that we have Memorial Day on Monday, and that doesn't mean anything to me. I have a very small family, and it's not like I'm going out of town or going on a trip or anything. I actually might look at stuff on Monday. I have a bunch of things to do, a little smattering of things to do during the week. But definitely, I will probably do final grades by Tuesday, which is May 31st. So just keep that in mind. What I'm looking at right now is the class looks like this. And this is our main folder, and I can see that some people have dropped things into the smoke or water splash, midterm progress, final volcano. And then there's a couple of things that we're actually due here for today in these final shots. And so what happens for me is that I will see this number change from 0 to whatever number it is, and I will look at it and I will record it. Again, with the jumping ahead to the very final moment where I do final grades, the school does require me to factor in attendance. So keep that in mind. I think all of you here that are right with me right now are fine. So having said that, let's just roll into critiques here. It shouldn't take too long. Hopefully you're making notes, you're writing notes or what have you, or I don't know, maybe you're just going to go back and look at the actual YouTube video. All right, so then the agenda then is me having some notes for you, and then some final comments. Okay, so let's roll here. We have got someone bringing in smoke. And far at the bottom, this is Dan. All right, let me make a mark right here. Dan's smoke. All right, so I have a circle around this. So I think this is, Dan, is this the first time I've seen this?
Yeah, I think that's the first time.
Okay. Hello, Rob.
Hey, what's going on?
We were yelling at you because you're late. You shouldn't be late. All right, hold on a second here. Yeah, I want to download this just because the LMS might be slammed today. All right, Dan, final smoke, loop on. Okay, this is working pretty good, Dan. There's a few extra frames at the end. If I hover my mouse over the QuickTime movie, you can see that the little playhead stops right there. But it looks like it does loop correctly, even though it pauses right there. You might have or rendered a few extra frames, but the actual motion looks okay. The actual motion looks okay. Again, I think that what I would recommend is using these little interior circles here as shadows and maybe adding to them, maybe making little baby half moons or something like that. Oh, and I think that I wanted to mention that I was having trouble with the stupid draw thing in Zoom, but I think they fixed it. So you saw that it just came up right there. So so what I mean there is that like on this little area right here, you've got the shape of the cloud, and you've got this little interior shape right here. That could definitely be a darker cloud. You could paint this like a darker gray. But then you can also go back in there and just by your study of art, go and familiarize yourself with all the concepts behind chiaroscuro and actually put in another little baby half moon that follows along with it, because I think everything is working pretty well. And then on that same frame, I think that what you can do then is add in a bunch of highlights. Little baby half moon is highlights, and as whatever you're in Toon Boom or Procreate or what have you, put a blur on these so that they're not really hard shapes. Okay.
Okay.
All right, then I got a water splash coming in, and this water splash is Dan as well. All right, and once again, I think I'm just going to pull this. I'm looping this. Okay, this looks pretty good. Looks really good. Let me go back in here and just do this frame by frame. Yeah, it's looking pretty good here, Dan. The only thing that I could really comment on is that these shapes are okay. These shapes are good. You know, make sure that these shapes are paintable. So
Okay.
go back and do like a final pass where
I'm glad the line connected.
yeah, connect it so that you can paint it. But the one thing that's catching my eye is that you've got the ripples that are starting right here, and then they continue out a little bit, and then they die like 3 frames. So I would consider, because I would continue the main ripple for at least 8 more drawings. And
Okay.
then consider that with these other ripples here as well. I think it'll just make it a lot nicer. Because I think it's what it is, you're just mimicking nature. And everything is looking really good, except that the ripples die away too fast. So paint your shapes and get the ripples to continue even well after the main splash is done. You know what? Something is catching my eye just aesthetically. You've got these ripples hitting the ground right here, the ground plane. And I think that it would make sense to continue a few splashes into the oval, right? That is in perspective, because that's what we're doing. We're seeing that this was in perspective. So I think you're missing some water droplets that are in the back. And that'll make it better.
Okay.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Midterm progress. Why do I have a feeling this is Dan as well? Okay. So I'm just going to go ahead and pull this too, because I'm not trusting the LMS today. All right, so you put your smoke in there, your water. So this is just the same things, just in there. You've got some leaves moving around.
And there's a volcano on the mountain.
You got some lava starting to work there.
Yeah, I think I didn't extend it enough, and so it just cut out. So I forgot to loop it.
No, I think that I'm looping. I think you forgot to render. So are you saying that there is projectiles coming out of this volcano?
No, I think I only have one volcano that's alive, and the others are dead.
They're dormant. Okay. So where are your projectiles? Remember, that was part of what we were doing for the volcano.
Oh, okay.
So this one's dormant, but for this one, even though the smoke is there, you could still have a few projectiles coming out of this, which I would highly recommend. Especially since your water splash is right here, you can have one come up and actually create this water splash. And remember that in the principles of animation, that this is your arc of motion. Remember, you're really far away from this, so get that projectile to work like this so that it speeds up before it hits the water. And so these are all on twos. So this is like a full 2 seconds almost. I also think you need lightning. Just a few little blasts of lightning. You do have a space in here where you can work like some sort of lake or bog or something. And you can do your bubbles here. Right?
Yeah, I can add that to the final one.
Okay. Okay, continuing, refresh, continuing. Final volcano. Dan, okay. I'm going to pull this one as well. So I probably should have just looked at that one, but that's okay. All right, so you've got some stuff working here pretty well. So one thing that I would like you to just think about is the atmospheric perspective. And that I think that this grass should be darker.
Okay.
These weeds right here, wherever they are, they should be darker green. And I disagree with you of just rotating this bamboo right here.
So just let it still.
I think that it should just be still. This is supposed to be just a more of a cinematic piece, but you've got the bamboo rotating on a point that's like right here. You can see where my mouse is, right?
Yeah.
It might work if you put the pivot point really low.
Okay.
But it also might work if you, it also might work better if you think about this. And I'm going to change this to a darker color here. Is that you've got the bamboo, you got these little stalks over here, and you can certainly cluster them together. And if you put your pivot point here, and so that the two main stalks that are here, everything else is with it. If you wanted to add a little bit of ambient motion, you could kind of do the same thing that you did with the grass, except that I think that you redrew the grass over and over again. Here, I think that what you can do is you can set this bamboo for frame number 1. And that's just on the left. So I'm just going to put like the L for left. And then you come out over here and you move the bamboo. You rotate it just about this far, not too much, just like this. And this would be like probably, I don't know, frame 17 or something like that. And that is your far right. Okay, you understand? So this is frame 1, and then this is frame 17, like right here. And so that's your motion, and then have it go from frame 1, from frame 17 back into frame 1 by the end of your clip. So this is the start of your clip, and this is the end of your clip. So that the motion, and remember that you might want to think about just how far it's moving, because even this little bit might be too much. It might be that frame 17 is like right here. And so it's just going to move from here to here and back again. So for whatever you've got for all this thing looping, just calculate that this is the very middle. And it doesn't really matter what number of frame it is, it's just the middle. And so it goes from left to right to left again. And try something like that. The other thing that you can do is in animation, you should understand that these are equal quarters, right? You've seen charts before, right?
Yeah.
And so what you can do is you can play around with the idea of favoring this right position and take more frames and put them here, so that you're favoring this middle position. See what I'm doing? And I'll even put like one right here, so that the wind is like blowing it to the right, and then it kind of goes back to the left. And so it's not just a straight in between, but definitely put your pivot point either here or even below. You could, if you're working in Toon Boom, you can put your pivot point off the screen. And you can't do that in every single program. All right, so that would be my recommendation for that. Remember lightning, unless you've got lightning in a different place. All right, now we've got your tornado. All right, let me set this to loop. All right, so I think you've got the main motion working pretty well. I think that you just need more of these ribbons of clouds in there.
Yeah, it's like after I finish it and I find out actually the cloud doesn't seem that much.
I don't know exactly what you said there, but in a volcano or a tornado like this, remember that this whole section right here, this whole funnel is a cloud. It's moving. And so I think that you want as many of these little outside clouds as possible just to make it look cool.
So
right?
just cover it.
Are not totally cover it, but just more of them.
Okay.
And I think you need lightning in here, and you definitely need the debris. Right?
Yeah.
So did you have a finished version of this?
Not yet,
That one's
but
still,
I think I can upload it later.
okay. All right, progress on the final. And this is Rob. Let me grab this. Hey, where's my thing? Oh, here it is. That's weird. It's in a weird place. All right, Rob. Javon, I need your camera on in order to do attendance. Okay. Sound is nice.
Yeah.
You've got,
this morning.
what I would recommend though is that as an audience member, remember that you've got, this is me, I'm acting like a fresh pair of eyes, right? I have not seen this before, I've just seen it once. And this is kind of cool, you've got this orb thing here, and I think that you can maybe embellish that orb with some other colors, so some adjacent pinks or purples or violets or blues or something even, just to make it look even more spectacular. And with your audio aside, remember that what you're doing is creating like this thing here. You've got your character is doing this amazing transformation. So it's almost inconceivable that he goes through this whole thing here and that the background is still the same. So I think that you need to replace the background. Give, you know, this thing is, it's pretty crazy, it's wonderful. But I would give yourself an altered background right there at the end.
Yeah, I felt like the background was kind of stiff. I wanted to add some like rocks and dust and things flying around. And,
Yeah.
But I just wanted to get the main assignment complete first before I did all that.
No, I think it looks pretty good. There's lots of stuff going on in there. But I like the idea that you're working with just a limited palette, which is fine. But I think that now you can go in and put in some, you know, I'm looking at this and just you know, just put some adjacent colors in there just to spark it up a little bit.
Agreed.
Yeah, it looks good. Are you planning on tweaking it? Like before you came in, I mentioned that I was going to do final grades probably on Tuesday.
Oh, okay. You know, I was planning on still working on this. I actually really enjoyed doing this one. I'm working on the character right now because like it's still a silhouette. So I want to do a couple frames with him kind of moving and
All right.
showing some facial expressions, and then obviously the background and stuff. That's kind of like the bells and whistles. But
Okay.
yeah, I'm going to keep pushing on it. If I add any more to it, I'll put it up there again before Tuesday.
Yeah, Tuesday noon, it would be a good idea. All right.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Rob.
Thank you.
Javon, I need your camera on in order to do attendance. Okay, now I got 4 right here in the final shot. There you go.
I put mine in there as well. I didn't know which one you wanted it in. I can take it out of the other one if you don't want it in there.
So like in this folder here, you copied it. I just won't look at it.
Yeah, I put it in this folder and the progress one. I didn't know which one you were going to grade
Okay,
or like which one you were going to look at.
What I'll probably do is here, we'll do this right now. Hold on a second. Where am I? Outline. So what I'll do is, oh, discussion. That's weird. That's not what I want. Oh, section topic. All right, there you go. files for 31 May, right? So we'll open this today. I'll close it on May. These are final drop dead deadlines. So put it, anyone doing anything else, adjustments from today or whatever you have in your mind's eye, go ahead and put it in that file right there on the bottom, on the final bottom. And again, I will look at those sometime around noon on Tuesday. Okay, so these are all new. I saw something sitting there a couple of days ago, but I didn't look at them. So let's just pull these. All right, what are we looking? This is Joseph. All right, so I think we like what's going on here. I'm gonna actually loop this. Yep. Okay,
Really
so
cool.
yeah, it is a good idea. You know, it's funny, the day that we talked about this, I found like the best example of it for you when we were talking. And then I decided I was going to go back and try to look for that, and I couldn't find it. But this is good. I think you've got 6 or 7 stages here to work with. And I think that it's fine. It's good. You've got isometric perspective working. So just a couple of notes for you, if you will allow me. And I'm going to just draw over the thing as it's moving. All right, so the bubbles are okay. These eyes are okay. I think that you need some brighter sparkles in here. I think the orb itself, the little thing that for the pixie dust is fine, but I think you need some brighter colors right here. You know, this is fine. It's not really an effect, but I think that what you want to do here is you want to do, it looks like you might have lightning working. Yes, Dan? I'm sorry,
No,
this is Joseph.
I wanted to put color in the background, then I forgot to extend the frames. So
No,
it's
I know
one
that,
frame of
but
color.
I think that you've got the flashing happening out here. I see that black and white flash
Yeah.
frame.
No, that wasn't meant to be lightning. That was supposed, I didn't want the background to be white. I wanted it to be a different color because I thought white was extremely
Well,
jarring.
that's fine. I think that if you look at it in terms of art, you've got the idea of the background being pure white or pure black, and either one of those is a poor choice. But you've got medium grays right here and here. So my recommendation for the background would just be a dark gray. Just pick a dark gray, like 80% gray. Okay, and that's just for this whole background, right? Yes, okay, I see you're nodding. And then do these flash frames and maybe even the lightning behind these windows. And you could even do it with these. So all of these windows right here would take on the flash frame and the lightning, right? All right, so this yellow working against the light green doesn't have enough contrast. So brighten this up, maybe make the water white or something. I'm kind of disagreeing with you about this nostril bubble here. I think that if the nostril bubble came out, that you want to think about how it pops. And so there should be some of this happening like you've got it. But I think what's missing is a few little droplets moving out like this. So get just a few little droplets moving out like that. All right, and then I think that because the dragon is underground, I think that you can really darken up this background right here. You can put a deep shadow right there. Otherwise, I think it's pretty good. Thank you, Joseph.
Thank you.
Yeah, I like this one. This one's really cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I like the horse
What's he doing up there? A little miniature horse.
with his little legs.
Okay, Minjung. All right, let's play this. All right, I'm gonna play it again. We've got some water, lightning, steam, window breaking, fire. Okay, I think the one thing that you're missing is the orb. Remember that we did the orb.
Oh, yes.
And so it's something to think about. You've got the projectile coming in and creating the fire, and this is a really great fire here. But I definitely think that you need maybe an orb to come in and break this pane of glass, and then kind of hover around. It doesn't need to do anything. It just needs to hover around and look at all the stuff that's going on, right? So I see that you've got this rain falling on the plant, which I think is fine. But then the lightning is too slow. The lightning has to be quite a bit faster.
Okay.
All right, and I'm just going to check on something because I don't remember seeing a sketch for this or progress on this. And I'm just going to check on something here. According to this is the corner of the wall and the floor right here, right? So that means you've got a vanishing point going out that way. And this, you've got a vanishing point going out over here. And so if we were to guess just by taking this line right here from the base of the window, that you've got a vanishing point that's going out over here, which looks about correct. So that means your horizon is like right here. And so your right vanishing point would be here. Your left vanishing point would be here, okay? So just check and make sure everything lines up. Everything else lines up to it. Something right here is not correct. Something right here. I think that these window bars are off a little bit, especially this one. It should go to this vanishing point over here. I think the thing that might help this is if you kind of realize that this is your left vanishing point. I'm just kind of double checking here. Yeah, so double check these lines right here, and then consider something over here that kind of ends the cabinet. Okay?
Okay.
That should be a quick fix for you. Oh, and then because you're below the horizon here, we should see the flower pot like this. We should see the top of the flower pot. So I think you've got the perspective backwards on the flower pot. We would definitely see a little bit of dirt. The fire looks really good. Notes as we go here. Okay, that looks good. All right, and Rob, we saw that one. Javon,
Yes.
how are you? This is interesting. The first time that someone's tried to put a volcano in their final
Oh no, it's a tornado.
tornado, sorry. Okay, so how many, I'm guessing because this is only saying 1 second here, that it's somewhere around 32 frames, maybe 36
Oh,
frames or something.
I have the other file. I think I uploaded the wrong one. Sorry about that.
Okay. So are you gonna just put it in the same folder?
Okay. Can I put it under the this one just in like the comment?
Sure.
Okay. All right.
Rob, where's Millicent? You were supposed to
don't
watch
know.
her today.
I have no idea where she is. Last days always tend to be a little empty.
Yeah, empty from your soul and from your,
Okay, it should be in now.
all right, I'm refreshing my screen. There we go. All right, so it looked to me like you just have things looping just already. So I think it's working okay. I think there's a couple of things missing. I'd like you to think about it. Remember what we talked about?
Yeah, the orb. I was gonna add the orb
Right,
later. I forgot to put that in.
and the breaking of the window.
Right.
Right. So just having said that, let me make a little mark here for you. So I would probably, you could definitely loop the tornado out there, that's fine, but it might be fun, like I had in my demo, to put a plane here. And hopefully you have this set up in your file already,
Yeah.
that this is an actual object that has a, I don't know, 85% transparency to it, so that you
Right.
can actually animate an orb just kind of wandering around out here, or maybe just coming really quick up into camera and breaking the glass off center, like right here.
Right.
And then the orb can just come in and look around and maybe shoot off the screen or something like that. There's a thing in animation called Chekhov's gun. Are you familiar with Chekhov's gun?
I don't think I've heard of it. No.
Rob, your animation, have you ever heard of Chekhov's gun?
I have not. What is that?
I'll explain it here in just a second. You've got this area right here on the desk,
Hmm.
and it's just screaming for something to happen. So you can do a number of things. You can have like a spell book or something on the actual desk, and the orb is looking for it, so it sucks it away, you know, something. But in terms of staging, this is a pretty clear example of what Chekhov's gun is. All right, so I think that your perspective needs a little work. Let's tighten up your lines right here.
Could use some straightening. Yeah.
So, and I think it just needs a couple extra little effects in there, but Chekhov's gun. So Chekhov's gun is a dramatic principle that suggests that the details within a story or a play will contribute to the overall narrative. And what this was that Anton Chekhov was writing screenplays, and he was also directing those screenplays on stage. And the Russians had a clear advantage because they were taking a whole bunch of knowledge of story and characters. This was probably the turn of the century, 1900 to 1930. And what was happening is that they would quote unquote decorate a set. Can you see me in the monitor? I'm decorating a set.
Yeah.
And it just so happened that in one play they had a very sparse decoration. There was nothing on the floor. There was a table and some chairs and a fireplace. And if I remember my story correctly, that it was very common for the person in the house to put their gun above the fireplace, because that was just a safe place to put it. The kids couldn't get it. The dog couldn't knock it over and accidentally kill someone. And so it just seemed natural to put the gun above the fireplace. But the problem is that there wasn't anything else on the stage. There was no plants, there was no chairs or, candles or anything. It was just, okay, so what's that gun doing there? And the audience was expecting one of the members of the play to grab the gun and kill somebody with it. And that never happened because it was just a prop. It was in there. So it became like this thing called Chekhov's gun. It's like if you're going to do this, you have to use it. So when you're looking at your stage here, you've got the opposite of Chekhov's gun. It's like, hey, you've got the arena. And so something should happen here. And it's right in the middle. It's right between the bottom right and the bottom left focal points. It's like, so think of something to happen right there.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna put the orb maybe coming close to that area, like you said, going back into the spell book.
What about a water splash?
A water splash. I actually put some rain in the background. I don't know if you can see.
Well, I know that, but
yeah,
I'm just looking at this.
Maybe I could.
You have a water splash. See if you can just copy and paste the water splash right on the desk.
Okay.
And it also might be fun to instead of just having this be a desk, maybe there's a piece of paper right here that is a map, right? That makes sense that a map would be on the table, and the orb comes in, it breaks the window and it crashes into the map, creates a great big water splash, which just turns your entire stage blue. And that ends your shot.
Okay.
Try something like that.
Okay.
Try something like that. All right.
All right. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. And once again, I'm giving everyone just a few days to decompress and put things together. All right, and I'm looking here, there's no other numbers right there. Okay, so let me go through my notes right here. I wanted to mention to all of you that the first thing that we started out talking this semester was just about the principles of animation. And remember that this is a pretty good document. It's in your class. You can grab it if you haven't grabbed it already. But what I've done really is taken Frank Thomas and Ollie Johnson's original 12 principles of animation, which are listed here in the parentheses, and just organize them better. And so that you can understand that all of these things are under the category of movement and dynamics, and that there are overlapping action. There are tons of different kinds of overlapping action. And for animators, secondary action is the most difficult part of animation to understand. It's hard to understand and it's hard to do it. In this class for special effects, we're not going to even talk about secondary action because it's a character thing. And don't let any of your instructors, because I've heard instructors on the AAU campus talking about how arm movements in a walk cycle are secondary action, and that is wrong. If the arm movements in a walk cycle are just timed with the walk, that's overlapping action. Frank Thomas and Ollie Johnson specifically talk about overlapping or secondary action being a character who is coming across the stage and pointing and saying, I am going to take you to the Netherlands. And the action of the hands moving is the secondary action because the timing is different. If the timing of the hands and the feet are all on the same keyframes and breakdown positions, then it's just overlapping action. Remember, secondary action is difficult. There also could be tertiary action. The character could be walking, which is primary. They could be pointing that their finger, I'm gonna, Javon, I'm coming after you. And then maybe with their left arm, they're pushing their dog away because their dog is trying to get on the fun too. And so if there's 3 different kinds of action, there could be tertiary action. And then because you're thinking about building actions on top of actions, come down here and look at the isolationism. And I put KC here for my friend Ken Cope, who's a great animator. And that remember that when all these actions on the screen are combined, your eye is going to see the thing that's moving the fastest. It's just natural. It's a thing that we do as humans. When a director is on set and they say, okay, background, lights, camera, action, that background, they're doing that because they don't want any of that ambient background motion to be moving faster than Guillermo del Toro's movements on the screen. Because if the background action is moving faster, your eye is going to see that rather than looking at Guillermo del Toro. You know, you don't want to do that. You want the fastest thing on the screen to be the thing your audience is looking at. All right, so and remember that I put in here because I think the very first principle of animation should be the illusion of life. That's what we're doing. And whatever that is. And that could be live action oriented, it could be game oriented, it could be rotoscope oriented, whatever this illusion of life is. So remember that this is not meant to do anything except make the understanding of those original principles just easier to understand. All right, then the second thing, it was just another reminder, I've said this before, I'll say it again, is that the idea of this class was that our executive director for the game department and I were just talking just about Unity and Maya and Softimage, and they have special effects modules built into those programs. And you can see it, especially like in mobile apps, where the animators really didn't put a lot of love behind those sliders. And a really good example would be is that in Pokemon Go, when the characters jump up and down, or when they do something with a faster motion, there's like a little puff of smoke, and it's only maybe if Angry Birds is on 30 FPS, my guess is that there might be 5 or 6 frames of that little puff of smoke. And the sliders just aren't perfect. The little cut marks in the smoke are just kind of, no one paid a lot of attention to it because it was going too quick. You know, they got some things right, but not all of it is right there. So the emphasis is on drawing. The emphasis is on the shape of things and drawing. And that goes for animators for sure. That's why I get a lot of animators in here. But notoriously going forward into 2023 and onwards through the rest of time, game artists are going to be asked to draw. So keep that in mind, that it used to be a thing where if you were coming into a school like this and you could say, oh, well, I'm going to go into the game because I'm not really good at drawing. Or if you're, you have an inkling to draw pretty well, then you would push yourself towards animation. But more often than not, you're going to win your job, your interview, if you can draw, because that's the one thing that separates you from all the other applicants. So drawing is a big component. And because of that, we have aesthetics. And the aesthetics are everything that you know about art. Okay. A couple of things to think about here. This is going to change. Your online class modules are going to change. They're moving to something completely new and different. It'll have an advantage for you because I get nagged every semester about setting up the grade book. but there's no grade book here. And so going forward, you should all be able to see exactly what your grades are instead of just progress 1, midpoint, progress 2, and then final. It's so you should be able to see that. That should be an advantage to you. Hopefully, your teachers will figure out how to work that, because my experience with the new platform is that if the school does not lock it down, that the teachers are going to go crazy. They're going to end up making mistakes, and it can be really confusing if they do the grade book wrong. So pay attention to the new online platform. Having said that, I was just in a meeting yesterday, and almost every school in the country is going to remain online to some extent or another. And so just know that the online classes, even here at the Academy, are not going away. You will have the option to take a lot of classes online. You'll have blended classes, classes that are online, classes that are certainly on campus. But the pandemic kind of changed things for us permanently, really. Okay, and then just remember that I'm doing final grades on Tuesday, which is the 31st, right here. And so again, if I put anything that's brand new, anything that you want me to consider for anything else into this folder right here. If you make a mistake and you put it in here, that's fine. I'll see if these numbers are all 0. But just put it in here for this Tuesday, May 31st for final grades. So having said that, okay, this is weird. Hold on 1 second. Oh, Ryan, there's still a bunch of stuff outstanding for you, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I will. I can't give you complete full credit for them, but I should see all those missing things from you in that folder.
Okay.
And then because we're recording, Millicent, there are some things that I asked for adjustments from you. Minjong Bubbles. And just the final tweaks from you on your final, Javon. And I think that that would be the stuff that I am looking for. Okay, does anyone have any last comments, questions, anything? Nobody? All right, so I'll do final calculations on Tuesday. I will send you off on this plucky, foggy Friday afternoon here at the end of May. Keep drawing, everybody. Keep your artistic chops going, and I will see you all as the semesters roll along. Okay, Javon, get those finals in there. We'll make it worth your while.
Yes, sir.
Make it awesome. Make it completely awesome.
All right.
Okay. Ciao, everybody. Have a good final semester. Have a good summer break.
Will do.
Okay,
Thanks.
ciao.